Mr. Hernandez reviewed the history and importance of BICS and CALPS, and he provided a great overview and the reasons and consequences of not having a good understanding of the difference that exists between social communication and academic communication. As Mr. Hernandez presented, there were three pioneers who began the research of the possible reasons for the adaptation and the learning components of a student's workplace in educational settings in which instruction is not provided in their first language. As we continue to learn about the development of BICS and CALPS, it is important to keep in mind that BICS, basic interpersonal communicative skills, and CALPS, cognitive academic language proficiency, are two very important components in the education success of our students. As I continue with the presentation, please keep in mind Cummings' observations. Do not forget that there are two dimensions of language: conversation and academic. When a child first begins to speak and eventually enters school, he or she arrives with BICS in the child's first language. This is the language used at home, at the playground, and it is the knowledge of basic survival communication. When we talk with our friends or family members about our social events, we are using BICS. It is expected that children enter school at the elementary level. It is expected that they come with a fully developed BICS. It is then the responsibility of the school to develop the academic component of their development. The school then proceeds to expand and build upon that knowledge to develop CALP, the academic dimension of language that is necessary for school success. CALP is used to explain the analysis of current events, the summary of a reading selection, or to write a research paper in a biological process. Therefore, if a student has BIC in one language and learns to read in that language and uses the language in thinking and analyzing, the student develops relatively clear relationships between speech and print material and between language and thought. Therefore, for a student to be both social and academically successful in a language, these two dimensions need to be developed and considered in the development of academic curriculums. Therefore, if a student has BICS in one language and learns to read in that language and then uses that language in thinking and analyzing, the student develops relatively clear relationships between speech and print and between language and thought. However, policymakers and educational leaders continue to struggle with the implication of ignoring the learning process of second language learner students in this country. The question that many of us ask and should be asking our educational leaders is why we continue to require ELLs to take a standardized test that do not measure academic skill, subject area mastering, nor academic performance of students. Also, some scholars have not supported BICS and CALPS. They argue that these theories are oversimplified. In response to these critiques, Cummings and other scholars continue their journey to ensure that educational leaders understand the different academic needs of ELL students. These theories continue to be controversial for many educators and will continue to be an academic barrier if our educational system do not incorporate these theories in the curriculum. an academic component that ensures that CALPS development is an important component of our students' success. This also means that our students are tested using assessment tools that are appropriate to their language level in all subject areas. As a result of reading and analyzing BICS and CALPS theories in this article, I conclude that school districts could benefit from integrating tools that assist ELL students in the development of cognitive academic skills. In addition, we all need a better understanding of how students learn in a language environment that is new to them. Our school system needs to clearly establish the educational goals. Our current educational goals and educational practices do not appear to be going in the same direction. So please continue to integrate, as a future teacher, the techniques that we are reviewing in this class, because learning and applying these techniques will increase the academic performance of your students. Thank you, and good night. ¿Le paraste?